Hey guys, it's Johnny in Japan. This is Drinking with Johnny. And tonight I'm going to be trying out something I didn't know existed. And I just saw it in my local grocery. It's Strong Zero GIGA Lemon. I've had Strong Zero Lemon, and they've had double lemon and triple lemon. Honestly, I don't really taste the difference. And I have a sneaking suspicion that I won't taste much of a difference here. So let's go ahead and try this. If you have a drink with you, let's raise up your glass, your can, or your bottle, or funnel, or whatever, and let's drink together. Kanpai. Oof, that is it does pack a bit more punch than the regular Strong Zero Lemon. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like that. It was only 98 yen, so it's less than $1. It's pretty fucking good. So, yeah, I just had no idea it existed, and I just saw it and grabbed it. I already had a little bit of whiskey tonight, but I'm not drunk. Got a Kitten lager, because that's my favorite beer. I'll drink that after. Or I might drink it now, whatever. Just drink it now. There you go. Clinky, clinky. Let's get drinky. Oh, so good. Okay, so I drank this. This is pretty good. And I got my favorites right here, a Kitten lager. Still my favorite. Still haven't found anything that I like more. But I want to talk about the other part of the title. I got Twitter banned. And it came as a big surprise to me because what I actually got banned for, I actually took a screenshot of what I got banned for. And it's pretty surprising. Now, I will admit, it is my own damn fault. I shouldn't be using my Johnny in Japan Twitter to make personal tweets, give out my personal opinions, or get into Twitter arguments with people. I should just be promoting my channel. But I just couldn't help myself. I should have made a private Twitter, but I was just too lazy to make a private Twitter. So that eventually caught up to me. I just didn't think it would catch up so fast. I've had a private Facebook for like 11 years. I think I've had my private Facebook account since 2009. And I have an alternate account for when I get in trouble, because I get a lot of 30-day bans. And I don't like report people, but people report me. But I just don't like reporting people. If you don't like what people have to say, just ignore it or just block them or whatever. But like reporting people, it's really lame. I get reported for like the dumbest shit. Like people are very sensitive. So it's very surprising that I've gotten so many 30-day bans on Facebook, and I've had it for 11 years. And it wasn't until maybe 2.5 years ago that I started getting into trouble on Facebook. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe just Facebook got more strict. But I would always hear stories about people getting in trouble, getting suspensions. But I had never gotten any suspensions, not even for a day, for many years that I had Facebook. And then suddenly, about 2 or 3 years ago, ironically, after I came to Japan, it's just a coincidence probably, and I started getting in trouble, like, 1-day ban, 3-day ban, 7-day ban. And from then on out, it's always an immediate 30-day ban anytime I get in trouble. And I still have my Facebook account. Although I should probably be careful because I have a lot of pictures and videos and memories on Facebook that I've shared, and I would be pretty pissed off if it just got all deleted. Maybe I should back that stuff up and download all the pictures and videos off of my Facebook, because there's 11 years worth of stuff up there. But my Twitter only lasted like 2 years. So Twitter, we now have an answer. Well, according to me anyway. That's just my own experience with it. Hi, Frederick. Uh, no, not really. I have an aircon, but it's like in the other room, and I don't. It doesn't really heat the entire apartment. I have an oil heater in here, but I turned it off because it was getting too hot. And I guess I just decided to wear this. The oil heater is kind of noisy, so I didn't want you guys to hear that. So yeah, that's why that's off, and I'm just wearing this now. It's not hot or cold. I feel okay. But what was I talking about again? I'm a little drunk. Um, yeah, I didn't expect to get Twitter banned for this because I've gotten 30-day suspensions for much worse things on Facebook, and now I know that Twitter is way more strict. I didn't know they were so strict. I had gotten maybe in the last 2 years since I've had Twitter, maybe I got 3 or 4, at most 5. It's just a handful of like 12-hour suspensions for a tweet. Like they'll remove a tweet that I sent because I tend to use a lot of profanity. So yeah, I've gotten a few 12 hours, but I didn't think I was going to get a permanent ban. That was very surprising to me. All I know is that when I go onto Twitter, if I log into Twitter, it'll say, oh, wait, it's not working. I don't know why. It's not working right now. Okay, it's not working. For some reason, Twitter is just not working right now. Let's see if I can get it to work. Nope, Twitter's not working. That's weird. It was working right before I started this live stream. But when I open up Twitter, it says that my account has been suspended and to go to twitter.com for more information, to get help, or dismiss. It'll say that I have 0 followers and I follow 0 people, and I can't refresh the page. I can't see anybody's tweets. I can see all my old tweets. So that really sucks. I'm getting a little gassy here. Oof, bear with me. So I emailed them about it, and I asked them because they didn't tell me how long the Twitter suspension would be for, which I thought was weird because that's never happened. Usually when you get suspended from something, when it says suspension, you expect it to be temporary. And there was no date given. And I think a day or 2 had passed, and I had emailed them, and I asked them, hey, I'm not here to try to appeal it or anything. I know I said something bad, but I would just like to know how long the suspension is. And I finally got an email like 2 or 3 days later. Like, it's amazing how long it took. All just for them to tell me that actually, I got it right here. I screenshot it. Let me just tell you what I got a Twitter ban for. And they call it a suspension, but it's pretty much a ban. I don't know why they call it a permanent suspension, which that's a ban. I don't know why they call it that. Where is it? Yeah, I took a screenshot of it. I mean, I got an email, but I took a screenshot of it. Okay, for context, because context is important. I mean, not to some people. To a lot of people, context is not important. In this day and age where everybody's overly sensitive and takes everything at face value. But I'm the kind of person that context matters. So there's this. I'm into professional wrestling. If you hadn't noticed, I like wrestling. That's New Japan Pro Wrestling. So there's this wrestler that I like called Kenny Omega, and there's this pro wrestling commentator / manager. He's kind of semi-retired. He's I don't know how old he is, but he's like middle age, like 50s or 60s or whatever. But he's like a part-time commentator now and like manager. He would manage a lot of like tag team wrestlers back in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. His name is Jim Cornette. And yeah, he's very smart about wrestling, but he also says a lot of really like backwards, like old, kind of like ignorant things. He says a lot. He says a lot of racist stuff. Like it's so funny because he's like this guy that's like always like. I don't want to get into a politics thing because I'm kind of like in the middle. Like he's always like shitting on guys like Trump and like conservatives. and claiming to be a Democrat, but he's always saying very sexist things and very racist things himself. Like in terms of pro wrestling, like when he talks about like women's wrestling or like wrestling from other countries, like he's very elitist about what kind of wrestling he thinks is like good professional wrestling. And some of the stuff it'd be a long video if I had explained that, but like if you look up Jim Cornette, like he says it's not hard to find any of his videos where he says lots of fucked up shit. There isn't a video that he makes where he doesn't say some stuff that like really, dude, like that's kind of it's kind of a fucked up thing to say for a guy who claims to be of the left wing persuasion. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So like Kenny Omega used to wrestle in Japan, so he has a lot of connections to Japan. And now he with some of his wrestling friends started a new company in America, a new wrestling company called AEW. It's okay, I guess. Yeah, but he'll shit on it. He'll constantly make fun of like women's wrestling and like Japanese wrestling, and he'll call like all Japanese female wrestlers, he'll call them all Japanese schoolgirls, and he'll constantly shit on this Kenny Omega guy, calling him a pedophile and saying he has a Japanese schoolgirl fetish because he is in charge. Not only is he a contracted wrestler for the promotion, but he is also a booker. So he's like, because wrestling's scripted, it's a story. So he's scripting the storylines, the matches for the female wrestling division. And anytime there's any Japanese female wrestlers that are getting pushed up, like being made into stars, this Jim Cornette guy accuses him of nepotism, saying that he's only giving them higher spots because he has a Japanese schoolgirl fetish. And he constantly shits on their matches, saying like, "Oh, I skipped this match because I don't want to watch any more Japanese schoolgirl matches." And he's always just shitting on them, and he shits on women's wrestling in general. Like he's always saying things about women's wrestling, like, "Oh, they shouldn't do this. Only men should do this because that's men's wrestling and women's wrestling. Like they shouldn't do that because it's just a girls' match." Like he's very segregating in his judgment of which kind of wrestling matches women should have compared to men. Like he thinks that the men should be different from the women, that men should be the main events and they should be doing all the big stuff, and the women should basically, he doesn't actually say it, but it's sort of what he's getting at. Like he's saying like they should know their place on the card and don't do anything that outshines the men because it might hurt their fragile egos or something. And I hate to sound like I'm some kind of like feminist or whatever, and I'm not. I shit on feminism all the time because of what it's basically turned into. Like modern day feminism, it's a joke, but I'm all for like equal rights. Like if you're a good wrestler, that's all I care about. So like there's lots of good female wrestlers, and he's like constantly shitting on them for doing things that men do. Like why are they using steel chairs? Why are they using weapons? Why are they fighting outside the ring and doing crazy like dive moves and stuff? Save that for the men's matches. And it's like, well, that's not their problem. If the men have a problem with that, then the men should step up their game and do better. If they're worried about being outshined by the women, that doesn't sound like a woman problem. That sounds like it's the guy's problem. And I don't care who does what, as long as I get to watch good wrestling. Anyways, he's constantly shitting on women, constantly shitting on Japanese wrestling in general. And he's constantly shitting on this Kenny Omega guy. Not just for that particular reason, the whole accusing him of being a pedophile and the Japanese schoolgirl thing. But he's shitting on his general in-ring style and him as a person, saying that he's like a joke to pro wrestling. It's a long thing. You'd have to look up Jim Cornette, Kenny Omega. Like, just look it up in YouTube. Type in Jim Cornette, Kenny Omega. And you'll find some long-ass rants explaining why he doesn't like Kenny Omega. And it's some really boomer-ass shit. But anyway, this guy's constantly talking shit about him. He talks shit about lots of people, and no one ever confronts him about it. He's just this guy who used to be really famous in pro wrestling, You might have heard of Jim Cornette, but he used to be super famous, and now he's like sort of semi-retired. He makes most of his money now like podcasting and selling merchandise. But he's just this like cranky old man who's like, oh, the old ways of pro wrestling were the best, and now modern pro wrestling is ruining pro wrestling. And he's just very elitist. He's very old school minded and very elitist. And he just runs his mouth about a lot of people who are very talented, and he doesn't give them any respect. And some of the stuff he says is really over the line. Like, I can go on and on about it, but you just have to like listen to him because there's so many podcasts that he says so many fucked up stuff, and he really harasses this guy. And I tweeted. He had recently made a podcast where he shit on modern day wrestlers for being fake wrestlers. They're like a bunch of nerds and they play video games and stuff like that. And this Kenny Omega guy on his Twitter, he was talking about his favorite games for PS4. So I tweeted out that I had just listened to a podcast from Jim Cornette shitting on wrestlers who play video games and saying that they're fake tough guys, that they're pussies and shit like that. And this is a guy who was never a pro wrestler. He was a wrestling commentator and manager. Like, he was never like a pro wrestler. And so it's kind of weird that he's talking about all these pro wrestlers like he's some tough shit. Like, I'd like to see him. He never says anything to anybody's face. He's always talking shit on podcasts and video interviews. And I'm just waiting for somebody to shut him up. Like, and so basically I said, hey, I just heard Jim Cornette shit on you and other wrestlers who play video games. And I said, this is literally what I said verbatim. I screenshot it. So there's no, nothing is out of context. I said, just listen to Jim Cornette shit on wrestlers who play video games. That dude is a twat and an ignoramus. Wish you would confront him and punch him in the mouth. I may or may not have been under the influence of alcohol when posting that. But I think that was pretty tame. It was pretty tame. I mean, twat. I said twat. I mean, that's not very bad. I didn't drop any F-bombs, no S-bombs. I mean, the only real profane thing that, okay, I said shit. But, like, that's not why I got Twitter banned. Here's the reason why I got Twitter banned. Not because of any profanity. This is why I got Twitter banned. After I emailed them and asked them how long my suspension was, they said, your account has been suspended, which you would think would be temporary, and will not be restored. So that's not a suspension, that's a ban. And will not be restored because it was found to be violating the Twitter terms of service, specifically the Twitter rules against participating in targeted abuse. You just can't make this shit up. Targeted abuse. I didn't tag Jim Cornette. I didn't like do the @ symbol. I didn't tag his official account. I just name dropped him in a tweet. I'm a nobody compared to these people. These are famous people who are known internationally. So I really don't think me name dropping him is targeted abuse. In order to ensure that people feel safe expressing diverse opinions and beliefs on our platform, unless it's my opinion, of course, unless it's the wrong opinion, we do not tolerate abusive behavior. That's ironic because this Jim Cornette guy is very abusive on Twitter. And if you go look at his Twitter, I mean, it's amazing what kind of people get to stay on Twitter. There's people literally dropping the N-words every day, and they get to stay on Twitter. All I said was, hey, this guy talks shit, and I hope you punch him in the mouth someday. This includes inciting other people to engage in the targeted harassment of someone. Yes, out of the like 60 Twitter followers I had, yes, one of those people are going to go and target Jim Cornette. They're going to based on my word. I mean, and what's this? What's this? You know what? He's got it. He's got it right. I'm going to go punch Jim Cornette in the mouth. Like, no. Chances are Kenny Omega never saw that tweet. He gets so many tweets. He never saw that tweet. I guarantee it. And Jim Cornette probably would never see that tweet either. So it's just me sort of, I mean, there's a chance that Kenny Omega might have seen the tweet, and that's why I tweeted it, just in case he saw it. Although, and plus, if you knew Kenny Omega, you know that he's a nice guy and he's not going to go punch anybody. So he's just that kind of guy. I just find that funny that they would say, like, they act like I have some kind of like influence over people. Like, that is some serious, strict. That is way too strict. But yeah, I got a permanent Twitter ban for that. I cannot believe it. Like, that's crazy. So I don't know what to do now. Hey, do I make a new Twitter? I don't know. Did I learn my lesson? Probably not. Yeah, I shouldn't have used my Twitter for personal things. Should have kept it for strictly my YouTube stuff. But let's be honest. Honestly, my Twitter wasn't really getting any traction anyway. People who subscribe to me on YouTube don't generally follow me on Twitter. Some of you do. Some of you recently do. But in a broader sense, most people who watch my YouTube videos don't follow me on Twitter or Instagram, which is very not surprising. What's the word I'm looking for? Disappointing. Yeah, so I don't even know if I should make a new Twitter. Because if I make a new Twitter, they might find out I made a new Twitter and just ban that too, and then IP ban me. That's what they said anyway. Although, honestly, I think I might be able to get away with it if I don't use the same name, don't use the same email. Maybe, I don't know, give myself a different Twitter handle. I don't know. Try to make it different. I still have to go under the Johnny in Japan name, so I don't know if that would throw up any red flags. Probably not. I mean, it's not like I'm like PewDiePie. PewDiePie got Twitter banned, and then he made a new Twitter, and it doesn't matter what, if he used a new computer, new IP address, new email, new name. It doesn't matter, because if people find out that's the legitimate, real PewDiePie, then Twitter would immediately get a hold of that, and they would pretty much IP ban him. They would always ban him. The more famous you are, the harder it is to get back on Twitter once you get banned. But I think, even though I got banned on Twitter, I think, being how small and unimportant I am, I should be able to maybe just, I don't know, get onto a new IP address and just make a new Twitter. Yeah, just don't make it too obvious. But honestly, should I even be on Twitter? It just wasn't getting any traction. People who follow me on Twitter don't really watch my YouTube videos, and people who watch my YouTube videos don't really follow me on Twitter that much. And the people who do follow me on Twitter don't really like my tweets or retweet my tweets. They don't comment on my tweets. I don't know. I think if I was to create a new Twitter, I would get someone to run the Twitter for me. Like, I wouldn't have the password for it. Like, I wouldn't have access to it. They would be just the one tweeting out my videos for me. That might work. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I just got Twitter banned, so you tell me if I should make a new Twitter or just say fuck it, because honestly, Twitter really hasn't done much for me. Neither is Instagram, although I do enjoy uploading pictures to Instagram. Yo, what's up? How's things, matey? What's up, man? Just talking about my drinkies and mostly my Twitter ban. I got banned on Twitter for telling a famous pro wrestler, that he should punch another, not pro wrestler, but a famous person who is in the pro wrestling business, who had been talking shit about this guy constantly for years. I had said, I wish you would confront this guy finally and punch him in the mouth for constantly saying all this terrible shit about you. He's like constantly saying all these terrible shit. There's a lot of context behind it. I talked about it a lot at the beginning of this stream, this 24 minutes. Maybe several minutes ago, I explained more about it. Like, he's basically saying a lot of fucked up shit about this guy publicly, and he's saying it from the safety of a podcast. And I basically said that I want this guy to, go punch this guy in the mouth. Like, I would want him to. Like, that would be cool. And I got Twitter banned for that because that's targeted abuse, because I name dropped the guy who I want him to punch. I didn't tag him, like use the tag symbol. I just said his name. Like, hey, you should go punch that guy in the face for constantly talking shit about you publicly. And obviously this famous pro wrestler is not going to listen to me because I'm a nobody. So it's weird that Twitter thought that that was like targeted abuse, or that it would incite others to harass someone, or that it would incite someone to commit violence towards someone. I don't have that kind of power. So I feel like I shouldn't have got banned permanently for that. I should have got a suspension, maybe, at most. At most. I'm just really surprised by that. But I probably won't make another Twitter. Maybe not for a long time. I still got a Facebook page. Still got an Instagram. My Facebook page is dead. People who follow me on Instagram don't follow me on YouTube. Oof. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of my fault. Yeah, I kind of like Twitter too. I just feel like Twitter didn't really do much for my YouTube channel. Didn't really do much. So it's not really a huge loss, because it's not like I had a lot of traction on Twitter. I have a lot more traction on Instagram, but the problem is people who like my Instagram pictures don't really go over to my YouTube. I constantly promote my YouTube channel and my videos on my Instagram posts, but I don't think it gets any traffic over there. I don't know. I guess people who are interested in cool pictures on Instagram don't care about YouTube, and people on my YouTube channel don't really care about my pictures. There's just not a lot of crossover. I would like it if I can get a nice little fan base that could just sort of cross over and be into all the shit I do. I don't really know, because like Twitter was supposed to be more live, like, yeah, because you can't link on individual posts and have to link to your page bio. Yeah, that's true. If you're talking about Instagram, I guess. Yeah, Instagram, you can't make a link on your actual posts. You can only do it on the bio. Twitter, you can do it. I mean, you can if you have a Twitter. I don't know. Like, if I had a Twitter, I'd have someone else run it for me with the password kept to them and not me. That way they can keep it unbiased and not tweet out any personal things, because I just can't help myself. Yeah, Twitter I would use for if I wanted to let people know what my plans were, like on the go. Like if I say, hey, I want to do a live. That's why I haven't done any live streams, because not enough people from YouTube are following me on Twitter. And sometimes I'll make videos where I'll in the video, like if I make a 10-15 minute video, I might talk about it somewhere in there. Hey, I might do a live stream soon, but Twitter is the place to go where I can actually gauge from people when a good time to do it is. But there's just not enough traction on Twitter. So honestly, Twitter is not really that big of a loss. So it makes me wonder, like, how I should let people know in a more faster way, like, hey, this is when I'm going to go live. I don't know. Maybe I should just go live. Just do it. Just or maybe just make a short little quick live clip, like, hey, I'm going to go live later at this time in Japan time. You need to have a strong network there, and retweeting and what have you. Yeah. Oh, you mean like people tweeting for me? Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure it's probably hard to find people who are willing to spend their free time promoting my channel. Oh, honestly, you're best off encouraging people to click the bell on YouTube. Every video. I'm pretty sure every single video I've ever made where I'm talking, I've definitely said like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell. Definitely. I wonder if those things because every YouTuber says it. Like literally every YouTuber says it in every video. So I wonder if people are just conditioned to hear that every video and it just goes one ear and out the other, and they don't really keep it in the brain because it's something that everybody says. I don't think people like don't want to help. I just think they're just so conditioned to hearing it that they don't really process it. It's just something that just something that goes in the brain and it doesn't really stick. So I don't really know. I don't know how to get, because I'll have some people comment, hey, when are you gonna do live streams? Oh, like I'm totally interested in you doing live streams, or I'm totally interested in you doing this type of video. And then I say, well, follow me on Twitter so we can figure this stuff out, because I would like to make live streams at a good time. Obviously, I can't make a live stream that's at a perfect time for everybody because everybody lives in different time zones. But if I can get more people to follow me somewhere and I can sort of gauge where everybody is at, so like maybe I can make a decent plan for when to live stream. But now I don't have a Twitter, so now that's up in the air. So I guess there's Facebook. I have a Johnny in Japan Facebook, and I have Johnny in Japan on Instagram. I could go live on Instagram or make a post on Facebook saying I'm going to go live at a certain time. Or I can just go live on YouTube, or if I don't want to do that, I guess I could just make a quick clip and upload it to YouTube and say when I'm going to go live. People are telling me, for a while now, people are telling me to get a Discord. Yeah, I don't really know what Discord is. I thought that was just for gaming, but apparently YouTubers in general are starting to use Discord. This is actually pretty good. I'm very surprised by this. I thought this would be just some stupid, like, marketing scam. Like, I've had strong zero lemon, and then there's like strong zero double lemon and triple lemon, and they all really just taste the same. I think it's just a marketing lie. But this GIGA, I don't know what they did to it, but it definitely tastes better. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for a 9%. Usually 9% chew highs, I don't know why, but I think they taste like shit. I don't know why. Maybe just cheap alcohol. This Kirin Lager is really good. It's only 5%, but it's really good. Damn. I still haven't found a beer that I like more than this. It's good shit. It's good stuff. Yeah. I'm kind of trying to save my money right now, so I got some really cheap-ass fucking garbage whiskey. It's not good whiskey. This is like lowest tier whiskey you can get. Very low. But got a giant thing of Coke here and it's got ice for it, so that's all cool. Damn. I don't think I had anything else to talk about. It was basically just me trying out a cool drink that I found tonight. Just found it randomly. And I just wanted to rant about my bullshit Twitter ban. I don't know if anybody's going to go through and watch this live stream. I don't know why I said this message is held for review. If the whiskey's shit, just slap a bunch of Coke in it. I don't know. Maybe I need to look at the settings for that. I'm going to hit show. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I guess because there's profanity, it held it for review. I don't care if people use profanity. I cuss all the time. Maybe I'll go in my settings and see if I can fix that later. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I had some Glenfiddich. It's empty now, but it was okay. It was 12 years aged, and it's like 2,000 yen. It was all right. I don't think it's the best whiskey I've had, but it was all right. Yeah, so I don't know if people are gonna. This is a way longer live stream than I expected, but when I get a little drunk, I keep talking. I'm really gassy right now. Ugh. Boy. You have to bear with me because I'm sort of like forgetting what the hell I'm supposed to be talking about. Yeah, so I don't know if people are going to like watch this far into the video if they watch the replay. This is literally my first live stream, I'm pretty sure. I've done some test streams that I deleted right after because they weren't very good and they had problems. Like 12:45 a.m. 12:45 a.m. Thursday. So it's not very late. But yeah, I don't know if people are actually going to watch this far into the video or not. Maybe I should put in description. Maybe I'll watch this video and put in the description timestamps for when I talk about certain things. Maybe that would help in all of my videos if I did that. Something I have always thought about doing and never do. But lately, like all of December, I played this game called Shenmue 3, and I've been telling people in all of my videos that there was going to be some game videos coming up. So pretty much all of January has been like 95% Shenmue 3 videos, and I did lose maybe 2 or 3 subscribers from that. So maybe some people are like, oh, I came over here from Victor from Give Me a Break, Man, and he told us to check out Johnny in Japan, and he does all these drinking videos and stuff. And I come over here, and now he's doing a bunch of game videos for a game that I've never heard of, some obscure indie game. And it's like, well, yeah, I do a lot of drinking videos, but I try to do other stuff too. So I spent a month playing this game and recording it into 10 parts. And I think I put up part 4 like a few hours ago. I put up part 4, and I've edited part 5 and 6, and right now I'm editing part 7, which is like 3 hours of raw footage, and I got to cut it down to 1 hour. So I got to cut out 2 hours of footage there. Try to find all the filler, and I have to watch 3 hours of raw footage of a game that I already played. So that's kind of boring to watch through all that when you already know the story and you already played it. So I got to sit there and find 2 hours worth of footage that I don't need because I want to make all the episodes 1 hour long so I can have 10 parts that are an hour each. I'm very OCD about that. So I'll have a 10-part game series. And plus I have a lot of extra clips, like little funny clips I saved. I didn't put them in the main hour-long videos. I just like saved them as little mini clips. I thought they'd be funny to have as side clips. It's good because it takes me a while to edit these videos. It's really hard to use my software on these long video files. It freezes a lot and it's very laggy. So it takes me a long time to edit these videos because of lag and freezing. And it takes a long time, like at least 3 hours to render an hour-long video. And then it takes a long time to upload, maybe like an hour. So like I'll have like these like a lot of subclips of funny things that happen within the game that aren't related to the actual story. I keep the stories. I want to keep each episode to 1 hour, so I only keep in the important main story elements. And any kind of funny little side story dialogue, I cut that up into little clips, and I'll upload those daily just to sort of tide people over because I like to do daily uploads. I've tried to upload some other videos, but I just haven't drank that much this year. So I mean, I did review this. It was going to be a live stream, but it ended up not being a live stream. And I've uploaded like 2 videos of my new puppy. I got a 3-month-old beagle. I named her Momo-chan. And I do have another video of my other dog, my Shiba. It's on my phone. I have to edit that and all the clips and put that up. Which software are you using? I am using Sony Movie Studio Platinum 13. So it's a software that's 3 years old. I need to upgrade. I've had that same version for 3 years. I need to pay the price and get an upgrade. And they give me a discount too because I'm already using a previous version after Momo from Twice. Uh, no, I just named her Momo because it's a cute name and it's Japanese for peach. It was between a few names. I was gonna name her some really weeby shit, like some like anime names, some girl anime names, and like Mimi was one of them because she's a beagle, so she has big floppy ears. Mimi, and then I know there was like a top five. It took me like 3 or 4 days after I got her from the rescue because she's a rescue dog. She came from one of those rescue places where like she came from Oita Prefecture, and as a puppy, she was with some other beagle puppies, and they kept her in a like outside zoo where people go pay to look at puppies, and they keep them in a dirty, cold outside cage, concrete, no bedding, no toys, and all of her siblings died, and she was the only one that survived. And this animal rescue in Fukuoka took her, and like 3 or 4 days later, I adopted her. So I adopted her like the weekend after this past Christmas, and yeah, they only had her for like 2 or 3 days after they rescued her, and so she's only 3 months old. Yeah, so it took me a few days to come up with a good name for her, and I had like a few different names. And eventually, I just decided on Momo because it sounded cute. I didn't know there was a person on Twice named Momo. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a cute name for a dog. The fuck was I talking about before that? I don't remember. That's how you know you're a little bit drunk. You don't remember exactly what you're talking about. I'm still okay that I can have some sort of intellectual conversation, but like I may be a bit forgetful if I get off topic. I think I was talking about like gaming and stuff. Oh yeah, like I've been uploading a lot of game stuff, so I think I lost a few people who think that like I thought he was a drinking channel and a Japan channel. Now he's uploading a bunch of games that I don't know anything about. And it's like, well, that's sort of just a temporary thing. It's not something I'm going to do all the time. It's just a really important game to me. It's a game. It's a sequel to a game that I started playing when I was a kid. There's a game called on Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast, called Shenmue. It came out in like '99, and it was a game that I played as a kid. It was very special. It's probably my favorite game of all time, and a very special story. And then they had Shenmue 2 come out like 2 years later. But unfortunately, those games didn't sell very well because the Dreamcast was a dead console. It had nothing to do with Shenmue. Shenmue got perfect scores from all the magazines at the time. It was definitely ahead of its time. It got perfect scores. It just didn't sell well because it was on a bad console. Like the Sega Dreamcast, it wasn't a bad console. It was going up against like PS2 and shit like that and Xbox. And Sega made a lot of bad business decisions, and they had to discontinue the Dreamcast and stop making consoles. So Shenmue didn't sell well because it didn't have a platform to be on. And then Shenmue 2 came out for Dreamcast, which was already dead, and it came out for Xbox, the original Xbox. And since people who had the original Xbox didn't own the Dreamcast, they were like, what the fuck is Shenmue 2? What the fuck is Shenmue 1? So why would you play Shenmue 2 if you never even heard of Shenmue 1? And it was going up against, at the time, the likes of like Halo and shit. So yeah, it was going up against like PS2 and Xbox and Halo, and there was no chance for a sequel to sell well when its predecessor, the original, didn't sell well on a dead console. So basically, Shenmue 3 went into development hell for like the next 18, 19 years. And eventually, the creator of the series used Kickstarter. Thanks, Kickstarter. Finally, Kickstarter churns out something that's not total dog shit. And it was basically funded by the fans. And then a publisher, because Sega didn't want anything to do with it, a publisher called Deep Silver picked it up. And they helped fund it a bit, and they finally came out with Shenmue 3, like 18 years after Shenmue 2. And yeah, it's, if you look at the videos I uploaded for it, the graphics and the sound and the gameplay, it's very outdated. It's sort of like a time machine. Like, it looks like a game that should have been released on PS2, which makes sense because if there would have been a Shenmue 3 back then when it should have came out, it would have came out in like 2004 or 2005 if it would have came out when it was supposed to. So it would have looked like that. So, and plus it's got an indie budget. So like it only had like 6 or 7 million in Kickstarter donations, which is not a lot for a video game. That's not a AAA game. If anybody complains about it, like about the way it looks or how it's outdated, it's like, well, it's a Kickstarter game. The original Shenmue back then had like 70 or 80 million dollar budget for Sega. That was like the most expensive game ever made of all time. I'm pretty sure no game has ever been more expensive to make than Shenmue was back in the late 90s. It was way ahead of its time. But 6 or 7 million for this game, I mean, that's like indie level. So the expectations are low. I mean, it's basically a game just for fans who are looking to finally, after 18 years, continue this story. Because really, the game is about the story. Because it's a very outdated game. It's not a very good game in the sense of like combat. Like the combat controls suck, and a lot of the controls are outdated, and it feels like you're playing an old game. I got it because of nostalgia. Purely nostalgia, and because I wanted to finally continue that story from the main character, and that's what it's about for me. So I had low expectations for the game, and I enjoyed playing it. I had no problem paying full price for it. I actually bought the collector's edition for it. Some things you just have that strong of nostalgia for. If you've never played Shenmue before, I wouldn't expect you to look at Shenmue 3 and be like, oh, that looks great, because it doesn't look great. It looks like an outdated game. But for someone like me, it's very close to the heart, you know? And so I'm not going to record tons of game videos. I might play live gaming, but I'm probably not going to do any more recording these big, long series. It takes up way too much space on my hard drive. And I have a 1 terabyte hard drive and a 4 terabyte external, but when you're recording multiple hours at a time for these videos, it takes up a lot of space. So this is just something special, even if not that many people watch it. It's just something special I wanted to document and have a series for. And I think after it's all said and done and uploaded, I'll get right back to doing my usual shit, which is getting really drunk and ranting about random shit and forgetting about what I'm talking about halfway through the video and ranting about other irrelevant shit. Oh no, it's empty. That's okay. I got a full beer. This is almost full. Good times. Oof. Yeah. I'm feeling good now. It's 1 a.m. I'm feeling good. Yep. I literally have run out of things to talk about. Yep. So I guess that's all I got to talk about. Tried some new alcohol, drank some beer, drank some whiskey, talked about my Twitter ban, talked about my gaming passions. Yeah, I think that's good that's good enough. All right, well, I will close out this video. I don't know if anybody's actually going to watch a 50-minute live stream after it's already played. That's why I didn't want to do a live stream, because only a couple people, like 2 or 3 people, came in here. But hey, it was my first live stream, so I guess I just got to bite the bullet and do it. hopefully some people check it out. Yeah, maybe I should put in the description like, hey, if it gets boring, just skip around in the live stream. It picks up at certain parts, and then it gets boring at other parts. I don't know. I don't really have any structure to this. I'll close this out by saying, if you like this video, click the thumbs up, share it, and follow me on Instagram at Johnny in Japan, and on Facebook at Johnny in Japan. Yeah. Sharing my post is probably the most important thing. Above likes and comments, sharing, because that's how you grow. Getting new people to see your stuff. So if anybody out there wants to help, sharing is the most important. Sharing is caring. And maybe I should start just live streaming. Maybe more people will catch on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just live streaming at a bad time. I don't know. I don't really know what time it is in other countries. I have no idea. Let's see. What time is it in other countries? I don't know because I can't think straight. I'm looking at my phone. There it is. It took me a million tries to get that. It's like 11 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Huh. All right. So it'd be like Wednesday, almost Wednesday afternoon on the East Coast of the U.S., which is where I used to live. So I guess a lot of people would be at work right now. So maybe it's not a good time to live stream. I don't fucking know. Maybe I should just start live streaming all the time. Just live stream multiple times a day whenever I feel like it. But I feel like I shouldn't live stream if I have nothing particular to talk about. I don't know. I want to live stream myself just playing games and shit. So maybe that'll be something easy to do. It's a lot easier than being on camera and talking about whatever. I had something to talk about tonight, but most days I just don't have anything to talk about. I don't know. So I think from now on, I'll probably just upload short little clips saying that I'm going to go live in a certain amount of hours or a certain time. Yeah. So thanks for checking out this video. Hope you have a fantastic morning, day, evening. Until next time. Clinky, clinky. Let's get drinky. Oyasumi nasai. Good night. Are you sure you want to end your stream? Of course I want to end it. That's why I hit end stream. Fucking YouTube. Dick.